Welcome to the Nicole and Sarah Show. I'm Nicole, and we also have Sarah here with us. We know that growth in creator marketing is evolving fast, so we're here to talk to the people building it from the inside and out. Each episode will drive real conversations about what's working, what's not, and what's next. So let's dive right in. For our first guest, we have Oksana, our head of creator partnerships at Manychat, joining us. Hi, Oksana.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, and congrats on the first podcast.
Woo!
Very happy to be here. Yes, my name is Oksana. I'm the head of creator partnerships at Manychat. My background started in PR and show business over 10 years ago, almost 15. And that when the industry evolved and transitioned, I also transitioned into working with influencers in tech. And for the last 6 years, I've been in tech and startup world. And now I'm leading creator partnerships at Manychat, which means we have global influencer marketing program that covers United States, Brazil, and Europe. And as we are a tool for creators, we run a lot of other creator partnerships and collaborations with our influencers, with our users.
That's
Nice.
super cool.
Happy to
Oksana,
be here. Yes.
is it the activity you do with your team? Is it just in English, or do you touch other markets?
Yeah, we touch other markets. So Brazil is a very big market for us. We have actually the whole team in Brazil, and we have influencer marketing manager in Brazil.
That's great.
So that's big for us. And we just launched influencer marketing in Europe, in Spain, in Germany, and France, and UK too. But for those three countries, we translated landing pages, product, and we have found local influencers. We work with the agency that help us. With AI nowadays, it's easier. Sometimes I can watch content and easy when on Instagram translate and see.
Crazy.
But yeah, that was the first campaign. Yeah, last quarter in Q4.
Oh, that's
Cool.
super cool.
Wait,
That's fun. We continue that.
how big or small is the team, Oksana? Is it, or are you a one-woman show?
Yeah, so I'm not one woman anymore. It's been for years, but right now we have two full-time influencer marketing managers in Brazil and in United States, and we now help to have two agencies helping us. One new agency just started in 2026. So last year, to do that all, there was one agency. I believe two managers worked on our program and two in-house influencer marketing managers. It's easier with agency because, as I said, in addition to influencer marketing, we run so many other initiatives and collaborations that in-house managers, they help with other projects, with events, brand campaigns, other collaborations, because for us, it's really interesting. Creators are also our users, not just influencers that promote the product. So we try to collaborate with them as much as possible.
That's actually an interesting point about just being a one woman show for a very long time, because I speak to a lot of different influencer managers internally from different brands, and all of them have a different dynamic, and also they grow depending on the ecosystem of how the brand itself grows. So I for myself have been a one woman show, and obviously that's fluctuated for a very long time, so I understand. But Sarah, I don't know how the dynamic of your team looks like and how that's changed due to the tech ecosystem has also changed.
Yeah, so it hasn't changed too much, to be honest, like over the past year or so. But the way our team is structured is we actually divide the responsibilities by platform. So it used to be that it would be by campaigns, so each kind of campaign manager would deal with several campaigns simultaneously across different platforms, all in the English-speaking markets. But then I'd say like a year ago, we changed it to be platform focused, because we started to view like the platforms in a very specific way. So for example, our YouTube activity with influencers is very focused SEO and AEO. So it's kind of rare that we'll be working with a YouTuber and also working with them on LinkedIn and also working with them on Instagram. And then for Instagram and TikTok, we have a very a heavy brand awareness focus. So it's working with influencers that are very like in our niches, like web design, web development, like very visual.
Hmm.
And then X and LinkedIn, we view that mostly for product launches, like for content that's kind of more time sensitive with very
Interesting.
clear CTAs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So I think that the market itself has changed differently based on, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, Oksana. But how do you think other brands are leveraging influencer marketing? Because obviously we see it on in our day to day,
Yeah.
because that's the world that we live in. But I'm sure that through the research of why you guys wanted to expand regionally, you probably saw
Yeah.
that other companies were doing something similar. So I want to hear what your take or.
Yeah, for sure. For us specifically, I think we were learning on our experience, but I'm happy to see, and I'm sure that the market is growing so much. I just can see it. Speaking with people, everyone increasing their influencer marketing budget. Maybe that's my bubble, but that's what I see. I see some companies allocate all budget to influencer marketing or half of the budget, compare 50% paid ads, 50% influencer marketing. I see so many agencies and companies are hiring. So the market is growing for sure. And from what I see and what had changed in general, tech influencer ecosystem is relatively new. Influencers and influencer marketing were with us forever, but with the technology, I think it's been several years maybe when LinkedIn influencer became a thing. So that's new, but it's growing. And in addition to just sponsoring some pieces of content for influencers, I see more and more brands invite influencers to their to bigger ecosystem, like signing them for longer partnerships, engaging influencers in events, providing them speaking engagements, sometimes invite them to advise on the product and invite them more and more and paying attention to this channel as to real channel, not like real and important marketing channel, not just an additional
Yeah.
marketing channel, because that's a really good way to build trust with the audience through thought leaders. I don't know if that's right to say influencers, but in our case, that's thought leaders, experts that can tell the story about your product.
I think it's definitely necessary. And I'm sure, Sarah, you probably see this a lot on your end just because we're working with so many different, not just one product, but I think multi products within under Wix, right? How do you see that on your end and how to actually get that right? Because I think there's not an actual equal equation for it.
Yeah, I mean, as always, depends, right? um, on the goals, on the focus, on the product, on what it is that we're doing. But I do see, I mean, I agree with what Oksana says. I do see more and more brands joining in and working with creators and getting, brands that have never kind of done it before and
Mm-hmm.
trying to learn and understand how to do it and testing things. That's for sure. Also seeing different types of ways of working with influencers. So far more than just sponsoring content, although that's huge in itself and can be a very sustainable focus for the long term and a very important one. But I mean, we see it on LinkedIn. I see a lot different examples of like retreats for
Mm-hmm.
influencers. Well, I haven't yet done that. Um, of course, involving influencers in different community activities like face to face events, having them speak, consultancy is huge. Like I see that a lot. We do that too. Um, Kind of leveraging influencers also for different like product education needs,
Mm.
inbound, outbound. Like it's, I always, it helps me when I think of influencers, I think of them as serving two goals. Like one is content creation, the other one is distribution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there are creators that are smaller and they're much better at the content creation piece and less at distribution. So you can use them for UGC and you can use them for internal education needs like for users. And then you have those that are best distribution, and then there's different other ways to collaborate with them where we're creating content together. Yeah. What do you think, Nicole?
Yeah, I think what influencer marketing used to be considered before, it's basically, to summarize what you both are saying, it used to be just a brand pays somebody that creates good content about X products to get more visibility about it. But now it's way beyond that. It's more of
Yeah.
an expanded channel that you could do top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, also
Yeah.
experimental experience, brand ambassadors, more focuses on not just integrating a piece of content, but integrating a person, a thought leader into the actual brand. And they're just a
Yep.
walking representation of the brand, but in their own specific tone of voice, their representation, their own trustworthy, their niche, and the way that they like to communicate, it being whatever expanded
Yeah.
channel. It doesn't have to just be on LinkedIn, but as you guys said, newsletters,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. So it does feel like its own channel ecosystem on its own. But maybe not a lot of brands have expanded beyond that. So I think some brands are still missing the mark in that direction. Have you guys seen a collateral of what is missing or what people are not tapping into yet that is probably performing well? I'm kind of curious, Oksana, because I think you
Yeah.
work with creators and with brands. So you probably have an understanding on both ends.
Yes, absolutely. To mention the opposite to what you just said, that in a good way, brand incorporating influencers in all the ecosystem and keeping their tone of voice. And on the other side, what brands are doing wrong, I think, is the trying to script content rather
Yeah.
than trusting the influencer to tell the story. Because to build a real trust, you need to work with influencer long term. When we launched Manychat for Instagram in 2021 in August, we onboarded 10 influencers for the first campaign. The product didn't exist before, so we needed to onboard them, explain the product, launch. And we still work with all of them. So all of them are users. We collaborate, they speak for us. So that's the trust, and that's our brand advocates, and we're really proud of that. So the opposite of that would be trying to work one-off campaigns, and it doesn't build trust, not with influencers, not with their audiences, because everyone can understand.
Yeah.
So I would say one-off campaigns won't build the trust. I know we all want new faces. I think we can keep the balance in that. So one-off campaigns, scripted everything, not trusting the influencer to tell the story. They know better than us, so we need to trust them.
Yeah.
Giving them the product, maybe key messaging depends. Ideally, if creators can use your product and tell the story, that's our case. I understand it's not the case for everyone out there, but to provide them with onboarding and to help them with that. And honestly, I think where brands missing the mark is simply like overcomplicating operations, briefs, payments, approvals, agreements. So operational part is a big part of our work.
Wow.
Not
Great.
favorite for all of us, and not favorite for influencers as well. So the simpler, the easier we're trying to do it, it's easier on us, on our teams, and on them, because they all love to create content and don't like a lot of operational approvals and all the levels of everything. So that's really
Yeah.
important.
So what do you think? Because you keep agreeing with Oksana, so I feel like maybe you're like, practice what you're preaching. I 100% feel that, but
Yeah. I definitely think that one of the biggest mistakes that I see brands doing, like Oksana was saying, was it's to do with creative freedom and not trusting the influencer and kind of feeding them with scripts, which is really bad practice. So I think it's our job to be the influencers advocate within the organization and to kind of protect them from from those things. It happens that we'll get requests from internally, like from the brand team or the social team or the growth team. We want them to say this, we want them to do that, and then every time we need to do internal education to say, no, it doesn't work like this. Like, if you want to strangle them, and feed them with the script, and you want the logo here. I said, guys, that's called UGC. Like, we can do that, and you'll use it as an ad. But if it's going on their channel, it's a different story. So I always say
100%.
it's so important to just define at the beginning, at the get-go, before you reach out, before you give a brief, are you going to be using this as an ad or not? Because that changes
Yes.
a lot of things. And don't try and say, oh no, it's for awareness, it's also for conversions, it's going on their channel, I'm going to use it as an ad. Okay.
I love it. I think
Yeah.
we need to cut it and have a separate clip about this
Yeah.
for all the teams. No, that's
Yeah, yeah,
really important. I understand all the teams. I feel like it's the same in each organization, and we all want to reuse influencer content, but it's
Right.
completely different project and completely different task and
Yeah.
completely different script.
Yeah.
So
And completely different everything.
Okay?
yes.
There is a change that we did a while back that really helped us scale and move quicker, which is where we decided that the managers on the team have full authority to approve content. So they don't
Yeah.
need to go through a brand manager or the social team,
Oh,
anyone
that's
else.
great.
And yes, it takes some time, and yes, there are mistakes at the beginning, but really we
Yeah.
see it's the same. Like 90% of feedback is reoccurring. It's like, oh, use the old logo, change it, or you don't say free, say something else. Like, it's usually little things,
Yeah.
and you don't have to be. I think you don't have to be part of the brand team to be able to take ownership of that step. And if you take ownership of that step, things are quicker.
Yeah.
I think
Loops are quicker.
Yeah, I think that's when it becomes when is the actual edit objective or subjective, right? Like, if we have
Yeah.
the structure, we understand we're in alignment with the brief and influencer, we can keep on going forever with edits, but that's just with everything. I think additionally to all of that, it's the selection of influencers, to be honest, because sometimes externally or also internally, we just say, okay, this creator is up and coming. They're doing great. They're performing amazing. It looks like a lot of brands are working with them. If we work with them, potentially it could work because they're in tech. Why not? But realistically, we lose the mark that maybe that's not the case. Or sometimes there is the opposite. That's an influencer that probably really low number of subscribers, really low or average number of engagement, but they're probably the best performing post because the audience is very directional and intentional to the product or the user of what you're offering as an offering. That I do think that a lot of brands don't look at the selection of influencers as detailed as they should, like really thinking, is my brand or product meant to be here even if I'm not paying for them? Or for it in general, like the placement
That's a good
itself.
question. That's a
So
good question.
I think that's a huge mismark
That's
on
a
our
really
end.
good point. I actually wanted to ask you both, do you work with micro influencers? Did you test it, how it works for you? Like, what are the results?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, go ahead.
Okay, no, I just we have tested it. It works when we boost it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Otherwise, I mean,
So
'cause they're
mostly,
small.
do you work mostly with mid-size influencers, or what is your influencer marketing campaign
So
view usually?
within our niches are web design, web development, agency growth, AI tools, vibe coding. We're usually working with influencers. I mean, look, following is not how we judge it. It's really by views. So we have like a minimum kind of benchmark of average 10K views organic to even start to consider across all platforms.
Okay.
It's kind of our minimum benchmark. And I would say that organic, like, views that we're seeing in our niches could be anywhere between, say, 40K a video or a tweet or a post or whatever to 300K. Again, organic, like, not boosting.
Interesting.
Nice. 10,000, it's not, even for YouTube, it's a lot.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
done like an 80-20 rule. So when I'm selecting my influencers and like projections for a campaign, so 80% of the influencers that I select, like their averages will complete the goal of of what I'm aiming for of the campaign. And then the 20% or even less, maybe 10% or so, I'm like, okay, this person looks like they're in the direction of what we will potentially want to grab them before they get really popular. So let them join on our end. And sometimes it works really great without even boosting it. I wouldn't say that they're obviously our top best performers, but they definitely do show the value of like, okay, this is an honest review. This is an honest post. This person is a user proactively, etc. They're building a community. So I think that's just more of a level of investment, long-term wise, for that partnership and with that relationship with that creator. But obviously we do boost it as well, but I wouldn't say that sometimes it does really well. It does work long-term wise for sure. Yeah.
Oksana, what like for you, for Manychat, first of all, it seems to me like a really interesting niche because it's influencers creating content for influencers.
Yes.
Which is so cool. But do you like, what's the kind of size, the range, the tier, I don't know, of influencers that's your soft spot?
So for us specifically, we tried micro influencers, or I would say we had a campaign working with influencers under 100,000 follower plus, but I don't think it worked as well as we expected and how the industry talking about it. Maybe because our users are influencers, potential users, maybe their thought leaders are someone who already grew. That's why, because we didn't get to enough views or engagements or website sessions. So anything from what we track didn't hit it. But for now, we just don't set it as a separate goal. But always, if we see someone that we like in the niche, maybe there's the educator or someone from the agency with small followers, we always work with them. We just don't set it as a separate goal and concentrate more on authority, views on the video, follower count. Still, follower count, it's somewhat a benchmark for us, but more, I think engagement is more important, like in real conversations. We like to go to comments, see what what is the conversation, what is the sentiment on that. So all of that. And even though our product is on Instagram, so our users on Instagram, it's a big channel for us. But YouTube and content on YouTube is performing amazing. Low impressions because it's YouTube.
Yeah.
You get your ads all the time. Oh my God.
Yeah. So really?
Yeah.
So that's ads and organic content as well. But it's driving conversions. YouTube, it's low impressions because it's not Instagram, but conversions and website sessions, we see the traffic like almost every day slowly, like 2 clicks per day for a year. So when I review end of the quarter, the performance is not great. But when I review, analyze the whole year, previous year, top 10 influencers based on conversions, half of them were from YouTube.
Oh, wow.
But not for impressions, of course. So I'm now thinking maybe we did it before, maybe launch separate campaign on YouTube only because KPIs should be different, obviously. So that's big, and that was a good learning from us from the last year.
So would you say YouTube is your biggest channel that drives the highest number of traffic conversions?
For traffic, even though engagement is lower. But also it's hard to say. Influencer marketing in general, not everything trackable. People not always click that exact link and use that exact coupon code. But from trackable conversions, YouTube is better. And I think the reason for that, because on Instagram, people very often just scroll and don't even maybe watch your video fully. And YouTube, people are searching for a topic and ready to invest, to sit down and see it. Sometimes it's long form content from users. Sometimes it's just one minute integration.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you do integrations or dedicated.
Mostly integrations. Long form is only if it's relevant. Not that many people want to create the whole video and know how to explain Manychat, but that usually works.
Do you
that usually works great.
In the integrations, do you give some sort of incentive for those that click on the link, like some sort of
Yeah,
discount?
we have a coupon code. It's separate from the link. We're trying to combine it, but in general, yeah, we have a coupon code. But the call to action on all of our content, especially on Instagram, thanks to Manychat, we can include links because all of our content has a call to action, even if it's brand awareness. We always say, if you want to sign up for Manychat, comment, chat, or whatever, and I will send you the link. And I'm happy to see that more and more brands using it for their influencer marketing as well. And I know that you, Sarah, use it as well, because I don't know how to track performance on your campaigns. If you can do that, link in bio.
Great. Yeah, it is. I mean, look, for us, well, the activity we do, the campaigns we do on with influencers on Instagram, they're actually for brand awareness. They're not for conversions. However, to increase engagements, we do in our brief, we request that they consider, obviously we can't force them, and sometimes it's influencers that have never done it before and they don't want to, or sometimes there are those that actually use it on their content, but for some reason when it's like a collaboration or sponsored, we've had a few weird ones where they're like, no, I don't want to do it. And it's like, okay, so we can't force them, but when they do, we see a huge jump in engagements compared to their previous content that they did with us that they didn't use Manychat, or obviously other creators that don't. But you're right, it's terrific for if you have an influencer campaign that's organic, if you don't plan to boost and it's on Instagram, but you want to lead to but your goals are conversion. It's a terrific way to do reels that you can track.
100%. Even if you set the goal as a brand awareness, even if your KPI is only impressions, it's so good to see who converts and who drives traffic to websites, because sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes the impressions are so low and then the most conversions. Sometimes we see amazing impressions and like 0 clicks. So that means we kind of achieving the goal, but we just know that it's not right fit, even if it's not our goal, but it's really good to track it.
Another layer
and
of
to see it.
data.
And just also understanding like the user experience of their audience within like the product per se in general. Yeah.
If that's the fit.
So I'm really curious, since this is one of my favorite topics to talk about, is budgets. Because we're talking about right now performance on YouTube, and that's related to more like a conversion base. But then Sarah, you're talking about Instagram and engagements and impressions. Obviously, we all have different KPIs to measure and to combine to a summary of our goals. But how do you guys, and by you guys, I mean, Oksana, you and your team, especially now that you're mostly globally, like how do you kind of differentiate like how much budget you need in order to reach all of that in terms of top of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, middle of the funnel, etc. as a whole?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think influencer marketing and budget. Who should give us budget? So for us, which channel? For us, our influencer marketing in general lives on the marketing growth. We know and we believe it's our big acquisition channel. For my new brands, it live under social or brand, and it's a little bit different. That's why we look at influencer marketing budget together with performance budgets. It's kind of under one umbrella, and we consider influencer marketing for demand creation, where performance then capturing leads. When we started looking at this holistically like that, it helped us to increase the budget a little bit and like cut it a little bit there, expand it a little bit for influencer marketing, and see how it works for demand creation. And it actually works. That's why we decided to keep it this way and expanding it. And so that's the way to look at it. It's hard to say in percentage. We still work on it together. For example, if I know that January is very slow month for me for influencer content, paid ads will boost more. If we know, for example, in December, we had the most active months for influencer content. I don't know how that happened for Q4. Everyone delayed. And then in December, everyone posted content.
Same thing happened to me. Yeah, I don't know what happens there. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same. Right now, January empty, February a little bit, March will be. And in December, we saw that we had less ads because we thought it's holidays, I don't know, something else, but it was the most active month for conversions. So we also see that it works on organic conversions, I mean. So we look at this all holistically. We see all the channels. We look at when we think about conversions, we look at organic conversions as well. And when speaking distribution budget among countries, I just see percentage wise what revenue we drive in those countries, or what are the most growing countries. Sometimes I think last year we saw one of the countries, it's not driving a lot of revenue, but we see that the growth is crazy. We're like, okay, how about we start with influencer marketing there to see if it will help and amplify and where it will get. But yeah, it's all ongoing with budget distributions and
Many
testing, sometimes last minute, because you always need to analyze. And influencer marketing, we can't analyze end of the month, only end of the quarter, but later. So
But
not end
later.
of March. In April, we will understand what happened in Q1.
Yeah, it's never ending.
So it's like very long term
Yeah.
planning for all. But I was curious, you all reacted. Is it the same for you during the quarter? Even we signed some influencers for 6 months, even longer, but still, first month of the quarter, silence.
Same.
Last
Nice.
month of the quarter,
Yeah.
craziness. Why?
Last year, I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened, but regardless of that, December was our highest month of everything, even though I thought that it
Correct.
was going to be like the lowest month of everything. Everything went. I was like, I thought everybody was on vacation. I don't know if
Yes.
it's a collateral against like, okay, people are kind of a little bit less busy and this is maybe their side thing and they're off on vacation from like their main job. So they're like ready to communicate more. I have not found what the actual, connection to it, but yeah, I definitely see that. Or end of quarters for sure, because just first month, everyone's trying to get things, I don't know, going. And then middle, second month is just kind of, everyone's just ramping up even more in a faster, or they're just getting used to the product in an easier way. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't know, Sarah, if you see the same thing on your end, because you work on ongoing content, right?
Yeah. So we have, I'd say most of our influencer agreements are like they're long term, and they're each doing like X number of deliverables a month. So it could be that within that month they'll go live towards the end in some cases, like you said, if it's like the end of a queue or something like that. But it's usually quite steady. But of course, like when we do like the activity we're doing on YouTube for LLMs, where it's usually it starts off with one-offs because there's so much testing and we want to see if it's working or not. But yeah, it's for sure, like it happens. Surprises.
So what do you guys think if a brand is starting from scratch? Based on everything that we discussed about our branding, performance, budgets, separation, etc. What advice would you give somebody like, hey, I'm finally investing in influencer marketing and X product. What do I do with it? Where do I go? How do I start? Yeah, I'm freaking out. I have all this money. I don't know what to do with it. Where do I begin?
It's a little bit hard to say. We need to understand the product, of course. But I would always start with testing when it's beginning. It's good if you have a lot of information, you know who is your audience and what is the influencer they following. But if no, I think those first campaigns are, I would name it testing, and like try to go after different verticals, sizes, messages, to just kind of test the water and see what's going on, because it's all learnings. And it's hard to, I don't know, it's really hard to predict. But choosing the influencer is the first and the main and very important thing. And as you mentioned, Nicole, before, brands sometimes missing this out, the best product fit for influencer, and that's the main thing, that's the start. And if the product is not relevant to them, everyone gonna know.
Oh my
We-
God. Yeah.
the audience is smart. Everyone gonna know. So choosing the person for whom this product is the most relevant is a key. How to do it? That's the second question, but that's the main key to
Yeah.
the main thing to focus on.
For sure.
For
I
sure.
remember when I first started, and I think, and this is the tip I always give to marketers that are just starting, you know, they're starting off, they don't know, they don't have benchmarks yet, they don't know what works, what doesn't work. So I always say, like, okay, start with some sort of research, and reach out to 20, 30 influencers that you've found in your research, get on a call with them, and explain to them your situation. Just be honest. Say, I want to start working with you, but I don't know how. So tell me, like, what do you usually do with brands? Like, give me examples. What works, what doesn't, you know, and what's your pricing? And once you have 20, 30 calls like that, you can create your own benchmarks of pricing and also of expected outcome, because they've given you examples of campaigns. You can see the numbers. And then you can do kind of reverse engineering and then think, okay, like if I want to reach, I mean, you need to start with some sort of solid KPI, something. If it's number of conversions, if it's number of views, like what is it that you want? Or number of influencers, or number of pieces of content, like something. You need something to start from, and then work your way back with the benchmarks that you do have. And either way, like it is guessing, right? Because until the content's live and actually performing and you have real numbers, it's going to be a guess. But I think it's our job to try and make that a calculated guess as much as possible with whatever data we can find to support it.
Yeah, absolutely. And two great points you both mentioned. I think one, Oksana, you obviously influencer marketing is still an ongoing learning process. So testing and going and being flexible with that is so important here. And not just being stuck and knowing when to let go. Like, this is not working. I see already like what's gonna be the collateral effect. I need to let go. But also being, as you said, Sarah, being completely transparent and asking these questions. Like, we forget that we can actually be transparent to creators and say, hey, I know you're active on LinkedIn, but what else is going on, or what else do you have going on? So you can actually create more of a package deal with each creator and then expand what potentially could work for your actual SaaS or brand that you're actually working with, because you don't know it yet. So unless you have that information, you probably don't even know where to start. Which kind of leads me to what I think also goes not just from the performance budget, but what metrics we actually should be going towards, right? So we talked about performance, we talked about impressions, but what actually really matters for us as influencer programs? Oksana, I think for you would be really interesting for us to know, especially because Manychat works with creators themselves, but then also brands. So you see both aspects. Where does that take you from there?
Yeah, absolutely. For influencer marketing program, also because we're on the marketing growth, we track it all. I feel like anything and everything we can track. We track it all and keep learning what else we can track. But of course, of course, we start with when we choose influencer, we start with CPV, trying to understand what views to expect, what cost per view to expect, and then after campaign is launched, impressions. And for impressions, we decided to name it quality impressions and categorize on quality, meaning because for us, we have our key influencer, like the best fit. Let's say we name it 90 to 100% audience is relative audience. For us, it will be Instagram growth expert. Everyone who follows them, they're ready to hear about Manychat automation. But also, as we decided to expand to different verticals, we still want to work with them. But if it's fashion influencer with big following that educating other influencers, half of their followers follow them for fashion, and how maybe some percentage ready to hear about Manychat. So it's kind of not a good fit, but it doesn't mean we don't want to work with them. We still want to expand there. We just know that quality of impressions is lower. So we say it's like 50, 60%. It's our internal benchmark. So then when we look in impressions in general, we want to to meet in the middle in some common ground. For us, it will be like 70-80%. So still, experts, marketing experts, IG growth, everyone talking about business, the majority, but we talk expand into verticals, and we want to expand more because it works. We don't want to cut us at this, so that's why impressions important, and we have quality for impressions. So impressions, engagement, comments. We like to go into conversations, see what are those comments about. I don't think we pay attention to likes separately, just engagement in general. And we always look at website sessions and conversions. And for us, there is a free registration with Manychat. There is conversion to trial, conversion to paid. We also see who are those users who converted, how long they were with us. It's a long term. We can't see it right away. Even for paid, we can see only 2 weeks later. But still, we track that all, and we measure that all. And the more we scale, the more we want to analyze, and we right now looking for new tools to analyze. I recently tried a new tool. The name of it is Swift. I need to find the
Sifty? Is it
Sifty?
Yes,
the
yes,
command.
yes. Yeah.
You tried it? Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
What's
Yep.
the tool? Tell us.
So the tool, the tool analyzes comments on influencer marketing content. It was launched by Brad from Creator Economy NYC.
Okay.
And so I tested it. It was really interesting. So what I did, I just choose, I think, top performing 20 reels from 2025. You just add those reels, and it analyzes just comments. So it gives the relevance of the comments. It gives you the main sentiment. You can also search by keywords, saying, I don't know, pricing, because I was curious, did people mention pricing? It will give me like, what is the all main negative comments, what people are talking about. So
is
it
this
helps
tool
you.
just for Instagram?
I think no, YouTube too. I think all platforms. I believe LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, I'm
It
pretty
just
sure we tested on
analyzes only
LinkedIn.
comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if with social media listening tools are bigger, complex, and they capture all, and I want just analyze my campaigns, maybe compare one campaign to another. You can also analyze influencer to influencer, get all his posts over the year compared to other influencer over the year. And that's really interesting. So I'm looking for more tools to analyze as we launch so much content. If you have any ideas, I would love to hear more. Always in search for tools and maybe AI prompts to help analyze what we've done.
It's interesting what you said about analyzing content. We're currently looking for a tool specifically for LinkedIn that will tell us whose titles and company names of the people who reacted to the posts.
Oh.
Who reacted and who commented. Well, same thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. To understand both how relevant the influencer is to our ICP and also the influencers that we've worked with, the content that went live, how relevant are the people that actually engaged. We also actually need the same tool for our employee advocacy, which is nothing to do with me, separate team, but they also need to understand, like, out of the people who are engaging with the employee posts, how many of them don't work at Wix? Which is
interesting.
a very good question. So if anyone listening knows of such a tool, send them my way.
I think there definitely has been, I don't know exactly what tool it is, but I know that you can boost the specific audience that has engaged with a specific post directly and create an audience around it. So if you kind of change the mechanic backwards, extract the data somewhere at some point, like if it was like Zoom Info or something like that, it should work, kind of like reverse engineer it in that sense. But again, we're always constantly trying to reverse engineer everything for influencer marketing because that's where we're at in general.
But I love it. Maybe someone who's listening to us will create some new tools for us. We all need tools.
Yeah. I mean,
Dream tools for influencer marketing.
no, literally.
Design partners.
The amount of times I think each of us have probably played on Claude or tried to create our own tools on Lovable. I think, Sarah, you were trying to create something on Lovable as well, right?
Okay, no, so listen to this. This is amazing. Okay. So I did actually post about it a few weeks ago, so maybe you saw, but I had this really good shower idea. Nothing to do with the shower, just it happened in the shower. Where, this is probably relevant also for you, but we have like a pain where we have several people working with influencers, doing research at the same time, reaching out at the same time. And it does happen, as much as we try to share data and, we work on Monday, some Monday boards, that it does happen. There are the odd occasions where two people from Wix are reaching out to the same influencer. Or we're working with one influencer on YouTube, and then the person who's working on Instagram reaches out to that person, to that influencer on their Instagram account without knowing that we're in a deal. Not good, right? Because it doesn't look good. And also it means, in terms of negotiations and deals, instead of doing a package deal, we're doing several deals. Anyway, so I had this great idea in the shower that what if we had like a Chrome extension where when I'm looking, so I'm doing research, I'm looking at an influencer's profile. If it's an influencer we have worked with or are working with, there'll be like a pop-up that will say, with all the details of the most recent deal, who the POC is for that person, with a link to, in our case, the Monday board. Anyway, so like you said, Nicole, I was chatting to Chat, to Gemini, to Claude. I did it. I was like, how can I do this? And I understood that I need a dev. Like there is some bit of like complex whatever to be done that I couldn't. Like Chat was like, you need a dev, Sarah. You can't do this on your own. And then I said to the Chat, okay, give me, like, I want to put a notice on our Slack channel. So I can ask for help from someone, a dev at Wix. There's like thousands of them.
Right.
So gave me the text, copy, paste. And then I went off for my weekend. It was like the end of the week. And then when I got back, someone had wrote, oh, I vibe coded this over the weekend. It's like, no way. So I met them quickly. Obviously someone I've never known before works at Wix, like a dev, of course. And yeah, he built it using Cursor, and like boom, 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 it works. Now
That's
everyone,
crazy.
it's really crazy. So everyone now at Wix, anyone with influencers has this Chrome extension linked to Monday. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Oh my God.
I think you're gonna have to share with us this prompt so we can also ask our developers, please.
I will.
No, but it definitely, I think it helps a lot, because I think it happens, and I'm not sure for you, Oksana, as well, but internally we have multiple teams and multiple products. Not even, we've also acquired a lot of different businesses, and it just sometimes, again, as you said, the negotiation aspect of it does really,
it's crazy.
Yeah. And also bad representation of the brand, right? Kind of like, are you guys not talking internally? And it's like, we are, like, but we're also 1,000 people. So we're trying to move at the speed of sight. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's awesome. That's really great. Cool.
Wow, that's so interesting. Yeah.
No. Go ahead, Oksana. Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to, maybe the tool. Talking about Dream AI tools. So what's missing in my life is analyzing the content, because when we launched so much content, when it was less, I would remember every reel, every hook, every like key talking points, and I'd be like, okay, these 3 hooks work. Let's use this, send it there. Key messaging was this. Right now, it's so much content. Even when we review all, end of the quarter, it's really hard to analyze. And overall, if we analyze the year, it's even impossible. We just don't know where to start. So I thought, do you know any AI tool that can review all the content and get the key messaging, the sentiment, like what's inside that content, for the best performing content, for the worst performing content, so we can get that insight? Because right now we analyzing it by ourselves, but it's not. Yeah, I think.
You mean, Oksana? Do you mean an AI tool that would analyze the video, like the quality.
The video, yes, the video, and break down everything they said. Yeah, was it the hook? Was it a long video? What was the key messaging?
Yeah.
Did it started with question? Did it started with problem? Did it started with advice? Was it a in-depth tutorial and break down that? You know what I mean? Imagine how cool would be that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So someone gonna build it over the weekend.
We're just giving ideas out.
Yes.
Whoever does, they have 3 customers.
There you go. I've only done that with copy. So what I tried to do is do like a campaign analysis and like upload it to either ChatGPT, Claude, etc., and just trying to understand like what is I guess like what is the connection of with these 3, and just to analyze it from like an external peer review if they were like my ICP, etc. But with video, it's completely different. Yeah, there's so many things that are going on that engage with and retention also of the audience in general. But yeah.
And then the thing is, even if you had such a tool, the what worked at the beginning of the year will probably not work now, like, because the algo changes so much.
Yeah,
You need the tool to be logged into the algorithm.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, and I think it goes back to the beginning point of our conversation, right? That I think to survive and to stay consistent and to scale influencer marketing is just being really adaptable, being like really plugged into the market, not just as somebody that is managing creators, but also from the brand, but from this point of like, what does the algorithm want? What is it aiming for? And not being so, I guess, like adamant, like, no, this has been working for so long. Like, this is how we're doing things, and just be really flexible and letting go as soon as it's not working. Okay. And also goes to the point to not just focus on all your budget in one place. Like, do you really need to spread your eggs in a lot of different baskets and just play around with it, like a different algorithm. So it's not just a set thing as paid ads. You just put the budget in, you're going to get the outcome. It's not like that. It's like you're really seeing a volatile, like constant market change, day-to-day basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and being comfortable with that. But what else do you guys think is needed in order to scale in influencer marketing? Flexibility, we talked about. We talked about budget changes, of course, setting different metrics. But yeah, if you guys are in it for the long run, what have you guys seen as something that is a collateral thing? And we talked about tools as well, because obviously there's things that we want to stay consistent with, but what else is in the wish list?
I think we mentioned it all. The only thing I would also mention, I think I said it already, just simplifying operational processes, because on a small scale, it's okay creating manually links, coupon codes, tracking things. When it's scaled 7x, as for us, so many processes need to be just killed or like changed, simplified. Everything should be simplified, starting from signing agreements to all the trackable links and tracking those links, like a lot of operations. Scale is impossible without it. But I love scale because it gives us so much more opportunity to test new things. It's really hard when you work with only 20 people. You can test all the verticals and all the messaging and all the everything. So it's amazing. I'm so happy. And we scaled so much and now I don't have enough. I'm like, because we also can test this and this and this vertical and LinkedIn influencers, let's spend here. So it's never enough.
I love that. What have you done to simplify your workflows? I would love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's hard to say something really specific. It just starting with how we sign internally agreements. A lot of agreements we sign through influencer marketing platform, so it's one click. Some goes through internal processes, but even simplifying every step for that process from influencer marketing manager to legal team and back. And coupon code, something we're trying to replace, to embed, like to make it automatic with links, because now we create coupon code for each influencer and those coupon codes has expiration dates. So we're working on that, and like more robust analytics to analyze everything compared to all other marketing channels. So a lot of work on that, but it's all cross-functional work, with analytics, with help to gather all the data, because we post so much content. We need help analyzing
Yeah,
what
makes sense.
happened there.
What about the communication with influencers directly? Do you manage it or via email, LinkedIn,
Yeah, email.
directly?
Honestly, just email, even though we have influencer marketing tool, but it's easier for us in emails. Each influencer marketing manager has communication in emails. Sometimes they include other people or no, but even content approvals and everything, it all happens via email. I don't know. We didn't find something that works better than that. It's just easy for us. You can include anyone from the team.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sarah, what have you done to?
Are you managing it's differently?
No, we also, all communication is via email. So I want to take advantage and ask every influencer out there to add their email to their bio. Please.
Oh my gosh. That's like a beg, please.
Yeah, that's funny.
Sometimes it's like a treasure hunt. It's like, where
I
the
don't
fuck is the
understand.
email?
I don't understand. I'm
Why
like,
do you hide it? Do you not
take
want
our
business?
money, you
I
know?
understand.
Yeah.
Another thing, I don't know if you get this. When I get pitched to, many times there's no link to the chat.
Oh my God, that's my pain. I'm like,
Yeah,
are you
also.
AI?
Are you serious? Sometimes I even respond saying, how can I make a decision without your link? It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
But when I do see a really good pitch deck or creator deck, when it has literally everything on it, I'm like, there's no way that I cannot not give this my attention, because it is
100%.
astonishing
And
too.
without pitch decks, also we noticed that some of those emails are scams, and we caught people on scams. Sometimes we would speak with someone. Yeah. So what is happening right now? Be careful with that, because, for example, we sign or I receive email from influencer, and I already work with him, right?
No.
And I have the email, like,
Wow, interesting.
and they pitching me, and I'm like, and I'm sending it to influencer, and he's like, no. So this what happens, and sometimes agency would pitch me influencer, but they actually do not represent them.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I
that's
hate
never happened to me.
So then when we go back to influencer, and usually you can tell from the email, it's a little bit sketchy. So then we find influencer. Sometimes they send good people. So we're like, thank you so much. But we go to influencer saying, hey, are you represented by the agency? They're like, no. They reached out saying they working with you and asked for my
wow.
So that's why that's another round, like checking
Yeah.
email.
Nothing
So
beats working directly with the creator.
I agree with that. I have nothing against agencies. I have nothing against like representatives.
But if they represent,
exactly. Yeah. But I would say that even if I do work with an agency or representative, I definitely would like to have a relationship with both, because I think that just that really helps build a long-term partnership. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we're almost out of time, and I want to close with a really interesting question, especially for you, Oksana, because we've talked about from the beginning and middle and all aspects of the show is that influencer marketing is completely volatile all the time, right? So we gotta just be fluctuate and work with what's going and what is given. But I would be curious. I mean, we both would be curious to know if there's something that you're testing right now that you've learned something from it, that you think other people in the same position need to learn from.
Interesting question. We always testing something, but thinking if it can be useful for others. Honestly, we right now keep growing and scaling. That's why we're testing new verticals. New, as I mentioned, like influencers from fashion, travel, finance services, whose audience is not fully Manychat users, but partially. But we're testing those verticals as well as new regions and new countries. It's still a big test for us. Again, to launch it and how to analyze it. And so that's for Q1, and going to expand to new channels. You're all doing it, but LinkedIn is still very new to us. We did very little there. So exploring that and new messaging all the time. Creative freedom, brief and a little bit freedom, all freedom.
Right.
all around. Creative freedom. Yeah, always.
I love that. Sarah, what about yourself? I'm curious too.
I think the biggest test that we're doing right now, the biggest thing we're testing is this whole LLM visibility, leveraging YouTubers to show up on LLM. So we have, together with our SEO team, we've defined questions that we are targeting for LLMs. We are then looking for YouTubers currently, regardless of size, because we're not sure. We deliberately want to test small ones as well as bigger ones, because we're not sure yet which will be picked up, if at all, by LLMs. And we're basically looking to work with YouTubers that create videos on similar topics. Obviously, like, it needs to be relevant to their to their reputation or to whatever history they have, like SEO wise, subscriber wise, whatever. And then we obviously explain to them that the KPI is to show up in LLMs. Like, that's the focus. It's a very different way of working with influencers. Unfortunately, a bit less freedom because, and obviously there are some influencers that say, we give all the information from the get-go before we sign anything, before they give a quote, because they need to understand that it's a different process. And there are some that say, no, I don't do stuff like that. Fine. But what we do is we basically tell them the question that must be in the title. It doesn't have to be this, it could be, the title includes other words, but that question must be included. The video needs to be structured to really answer the question fully. And it's the only case in which we really need to approve the script. And we do let ourselves make changes, which we don't do in other cases. And then, of course, there's the video description. Again, needs to be extremely SEO, AEO optimized. So it's a new activity. We've gone live with a handful. The tools that the team had until now haven't been helpful. I know that they're transitioning to a new tool, so we do not have data yet. We're waiting to get it. So I hope it's not a complete waste of time.
Maybe we can help you from the center's
Please keep
perspective,
us
but we'll
posted.
talk about it. Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Keep us posted, please. That's interesting.
And I will.
That's super cool.
So yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I've been wanting to test more on X, on Twitter, just because our main audience, and I think we've talked about this before, Sarah, but our main audience is mostly like VPs, CMOs, CEOs, and very much like high level decision makers. And the bite-sized content that they consume is mostly just strategic, numerical, like straight to the point, less time, less brand awareness, less engaging. So yeah, it's just going back to the basics. When we started our influencer program back in 7 years ago, X, well, what it was Twitter before, was our best platform in general, just because of the way that people engaged in comments, and the content would always be boosted back up, and the way that the algorithm works in general. So gonna launch something there again, see how that goes, and I'll keep you guys posted as well.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's exciting.
For sure. Well, I think we're running out of time. Oksana, thank you so much for taking the time to spend an hour with us and sharing your insights on how you're working with creators on your end. And Sarah and I are very happy that you could join us. And hopeful everybody that joined us today or even later learn something new, and that gets a little bit more excited to continuously scale their influencer marketing, whatever it is, starting from zero, mid-budget, etc., and just being flexible and seeing and growing with the market as we all have in the past couple of years.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Congrats again. I'm excited for your podcast and for future guests.
Thank you.
I'll be your number one watcher every time. So I'm really excited.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.